Today's tech news moves fast, but understanding it shouldn't be hard. That's why Snarful Solutions Group brings you Connecting the Dots, where we break down what's happening in tech and why it matters to you. Now, let's dive in with your hosts.
All right. Welcome, everyone, to Connecting the Dots, the show where we make sense of all the crazy tech stuff happening and figure out how it affects you.
Yeah, exactly. It's like all these headlines and announcements, they can be kind of overwhelming.
Right. And that's where we come in. Today's March 24th, 2025, by the way.
2025 already. Time flies.
Seriously. So what are we diving into today? Well, there's a cool update coming to some popular headphones. A lot of big companies are gobbling up startups. AI's making waves in the software world. Some folks might have lost a bit of their Google Maps history, and there's a new top dog in European business.
Sounds like a packed show. Let's get started.
Okay, so first up, there's some big news for anyone who owns Apple's AirPods Max.
Those fancy over-the-ear headphones.
Yep, those. So Apple announced a software update coming next month in April, and it's all about sound quality.
Yeah.
Like way better sound quality.
Yeah, we're talking. What exactly are they changing?
Well, the big thing is they're adding something called lossless audio, specifically 24-bit, 48 kilohertz. I know, those numbers probably mean nothing to most people.
Yeah, it sounds pretty technical.
But basically, lossless means that when the music is compressed to send wirelessly to your headphones, none of the original sound information is lost. It's like you're hearing all the nuances and details the artist intended.
Okay, so it's all about preserving that original sound quality, making it super crisp and clear.
Exactly. It's a noticeable difference, especially if you listen to music a lot. You might rediscover your favorite songs with this update.
That's pretty neat. And I heard there are other features too, right? Something about spatial audio.
Oh yeah, the update also includes personalized spatial audio. We've had regular spatial audio before, which creates that 3D sound effect.
Yeah, where it feels like the music is all around you.
Right. But this personalized version goes a step further. It actually uses information about your head and ears, like the shape, to tailor that 3D sound specifically to you. So it should be even more immersive and realistic.
Wow, so it's like custom-made sound for your ears.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's pretty wild. And then there's one more improvement I got to mention, which is ultra-low latency.
Right.
Yeah, it's basically the delay between, say, you pressing a button and hearing the sound effect. This update aims to make that delay super small, almost unnoticeable, especially when you're watching videos or playing games. So everything feels more synced and responsive.
I can see how that'd be important for gaming.
Totally. You don't want any lag ruining your game.
Yeah.
So all in all, this update's looking pretty sweet for anyone with AirPods Max. Makes them even more worth the price tag.
Definitely an upgrade worth having. It improves the things that matter, the audio quality, the immersiveness, and that responsiveness, all stuff that people use these headphones for every day.
All right, so let's move on to something a little different. Startup acquisitions. CB Insights, they're a research firm. They're saying there's been a huge jump in big companies buying up smaller ones, like billion-dollar deals.
Interesting. How big of a jump are we talking?
Well, in the first 3 months of this year, 2025, there have already been 11 of these deals, worth a total of, get this, $54.5 billion.
That's a lot of money. How does that compare to last year?
Like night and day. In the same period last year, 2024, there were only 2 deals worth a total of $3.2 billion. So yeah, a pretty massive increase.
Wow. Any notable examples come to mind?
Oh, absolutely. The biggest one, by far, is Google buying a company called Wiz for like a mind-boggling $32 billion.
That's one expensive company. So what does this mean for, the average person? Like, why should they care about these big companies buying smaller ones?
Yeah, it's not immediately obvious, right? But here's the thing. These acquisitions, they often lead to new features and better products down the line. When a company like Google scoops up a startup like Wiz, they're basically getting their hands on some cutting-edge technology and a bunch of really talented people.
Ah, I see. So it's like an injection of innovation.
Exactly. Think about it like this. You know how Instagram is part of Facebook now? That acquisition back in the day, well, that had a huge impact on the whole social media landscape. So these deals, they can really shape the tech world in ways that we might not even realize right away.
Right. So it's not just about the money. It's about the potential for new ideas and technologies to filter down into the stuff we use every day.
Absolutely. And, this surge in acquisitions, it also tells us what the big companies are focusing on. The fact that they're pouring so much money into areas like cybersecurity, like with that Wiz deal, well, That suggests that security is becoming a top priority for them.
Which ultimately is good news for everyone.
Right. It means our online experiences are likely to become more secure in the future.
So it's like these acquisitions, they're kind of like a window into the future of tech.
Exactly. They're hints about what's coming down the pipeline. Speaking of the future of tech, let's talk about AI, artificial intelligence.
Ah, yes. The big buzzword.
It's more than just a buzzword these days. Wired, the magazine, they did a survey of 730 software developers, asking them about their use of AI. And the results were pretty interesting.
Oh, how so?
Well, a whopping 75% of those developers said they've at least tried using AI in their work. That's a pretty huge adoption rate.
It really shows how fast AI is spreading.
Right. It's becoming a standard tool for many developers. But here's the surprising part. The developers were pretty split on how they felt about AI. Like, 35.6% were optimistic about its impact. But a slightly larger percentage, 38.4%, were actually pessimistic.
That's interesting. I wonder what's driving that pessimism.
Yeah, it's a good question. I mean, AI is supposed to make things easier, right?
Well, yeah, in theory. But I imagine some developers might be worried about job security, if AI can automate a lot of their work.
Yeah, that's definitely a valid concern. There are also concerns about, like, the quality of AI-generated code, whether it's as good as human-written code. And there are ethical issues, too, about how AI is used in the development process.
Makes sense. It's a complex topic for sure.
It is. The survey also found that freelance developers are using AI more than those working for companies, and that over half of employers are now paying for AI tools for their teams.
So even though there's some hesitation, it seems like AI is becoming increasingly integrated into the software world.
Absolutely. And what this means for you is that the apps and software you use, they're likely being influenced and maybe even created with the help of AI.
So whether we like it or not, AI is playing a bigger role in our digital lives.
Right. Okay, moving on to something that might hit a little closer to home for some folks. There's been an issue with Google Maps timeline. Apparently, some users have had their timeline data deleted because of a technical glitch.
Uh-oh.
Not good.
No, not good at all. Google's confirmed the issue, and they're advising affected users to try restoring their data from a backup, if they have one.
I can imagine some people are pretty upset about this. That timeline data, it can be really valuable.
Definitely. It's like a digital record of where you've been, all your trips, your daily commutes, everything. Some people use it to track their travels. Others just like having that personal history. Losing it can be a real bummer.
No kidding. It's like losing a part of your digital memory.
Yeah, kinda. And it's a good reminder that even though we store so much stuff online these days, things can go wrong. Backups are super important. Couldn't agree more. We should all have backups of our important data, whether it's photos, documents, or, even our location history.
Right. Hopefully Google can figure out a way to recover the lost data. But in the meantime, it's a wake-up call for all of us to be more proactive about protecting our digital stuff.
Agreed. It really highlights how important it is to be mindful of where our data is stored and to make sure we have some control over it.
All right, last but not least, let's talk about some financial news that actually has real-world implications. SAP, it's a German software company. Their stock has been doing really well. It recently went up by 1.6%, which pushed their market value to a whopping 314 billion euros.
314 billion, that's huge.
Yeah, it's a lot of money. And it means that SAP is now the most valuable public company in Europe, even bigger than Novo Nordisk, the previous leader.
Yeah.
And their stock is up 42% this year alone. Pretty impressive, right?
Definitely. But why should we care? Like, what does this have to do with our everyday lives?
Well, SAP, they're a major player in the world of enterprise software. They make the software that a lot of businesses use to manage their operations, everything from supply chains to customer service to accounting. So, in a way, SAP is kind of behind the scenes in a lot of the companies we interact with every day.
I see. So if SAP is thriving, that means businesses are investing in tech to improve their processes.
Right. And that, in the long run, can lead to better products and services for consumers. Like, imagine a company uses SAP software to manage its inventory better.
Yeah, what would that do?
Well, that could mean less stock shortages, faster shipping times, maybe even lower prices for us. So SAP's success, it's actually a good sign for the tech industry as a whole.
So it's not just about some company's stock price. It's a sign of a healthy and growing tech ecosystem, which ultimately benefits everyone.
Absolutely. It's all connected,
It always is.
So there you have it. Those are the big tech stories we wanted to break down for you today. Just to recap, we talked about the AirPods Max getting a sweet audio upgrade, a bunch of big companies snatching up startups left and right, AI becoming more and more common in the software world, that Google Maps timeline glitch that's got some people worried about their data, and SAP taking the crown as Europe's most valuable company.
And how all of that stuff actually matters to us regular folks.
Right, because tech news isn't just for techies. It affects all of us. And that's what we're here for, to connect the dots and make it all make sense.
Absolutely.
So we hope you found this deep dive helpful. And hey, if you have any questions or want to learn more about anything we talk about, you know where to find us. We're here to help here at Snarful, so reach out on our website if you have any more questions.
And we'll see you next time.
That's a wrap on today's top stories. Remember, tech doesn't have to be complicated, and we're here to help connect the dots. If you've got questions or want to learn more, visit us at snarful.com. Thanks for listening, and we'll catch you next time.